contact. These costumes are...
Yeah, spoken Uhura.
That's amazing.
Hey, it's Norm from Tested.com here at Comic-Con 2015. Brandon Ellinger, Prop Store. We're here at the booth. Good to see you, man.
Here we are, another year.
Another year now. You guys have a lot of stuff, and I noticed a lot of Star Trek stuff, too.
Yeah.
Let's start off with this case right here, costumes from the original series. Can you tell me about these costumes?
So this is second season Uhura, Nichelle Nichols. This is her Red Starfleet dress. You can see it's complete with the gold braid on the cuffs and the original Starfleet patch on the top there, which is pretty rare. You know, a lot of them that are around are missing those details. So it's a really nice example. It's the only Uhura we've ever handled, and it's going to be sold in our upcoming live auction in London this fall, late September.
Now, when that comes into your possession, when someone brings it to you, how can you verify, for example, what season it's in? Is it all on the tags and the labels?
This one is not tagged and labeled. It's actually about the material. So for Star Trek original series, the third season changed to more of a polyester material. The velour material was used in the first two seasons. We actually went through the Blu-rays every single episode and worked out what we believe what the episodes were that this tunic was used in.
Wow.
As we did for the one behind it, which is Mr. Spock, Leonard Nimoy.
It's actually a Spock one.
Spock, yeah, and that is screen matched to two different episodes. Again, second season of Star Trek. Again, complete with the original patch and the original gold braid. You know, Spock's very distinctive 2 rows of the braid trim, and these came right out of Paramount in the 1990s, a gentleman that had a business relationship with them. We obtained them from him a number of years ago, and they're going to be sold in our auction this fall.
Is that a full, complete costume, including the pants and the boots as well, or just the tunic?
No boots. We do not have the boots, but they are his pants. The pants are labeled Nimoy. We're very lucky to have the pants, and the pants are great because they're not black. The really interesting thing is they're this sort of shimmering space fabric, and if you look at them, it's like, it's like a Starfield or something. It's designed to reflect light back. It's a really unusual fabric.
Made for those 60s cameras, basically.
Exactly.
So Brandon, there's also some ships here. That clearly looks like the Enterprise, but not the A, the B, or the D. Its only appearance in one episode.
The C, yeah, this was built for yesterday's Enterprise, which was a time travel episode of Star Trek Next Generation, later reused in Deep Space Nine, which is why it's currently labeled the Yamaguchi, but it was originally the Enterprise C, and to see any Enterprise model is pretty special. This one was sold in the CBS 40 Years of Star Trek auction in 2006, and now it's come back around. It's going to be offered again. It's the first time we've had an Enterprise model for sale, so we're very excited.
Do you know how this compares in scale to the other ships that were used for production? I mean, this is not as big as like the 5-foot-long Enterprise.
Yeah, this one, it is probably a little bit smaller. I know in that same auction they sold an A and I believe a D that were both larger. I think the A was about 5 feet, and the D, I think they had a couple different scales, a 6-foot and a 4-foot. This, I would say, is probably closer to 3 feet, something like that. But just a wonderful example of model miniatures, a very recognizable craft.
Yeah, Star Trek fans should know, it's painted on windows, but the escape pods are just stickers. Stickers on for the escape pods.
Yes.
Are there lights in here?
There are lights, yeah. We don't have it lit up at the moment just because it probably wouldn't be good to run the lights for an extended period of time. But when you check out our auction catalog, you'll see it all lit up. The engines, the nacelles, everything lights up like a Christmas tree. It's pretty cool.
Wow. And then, of course, some ships from film. So here it looks like from the Wrath of Khan.
Yeah, how about that? That is the bridge of the Reliant after it takes a hit, the battle-damaged version of the Reliant. I love this thing. I love the paintwork, the teching, the way they've made it look distressed. It's all just little bits of brass and plastic, but very effective.
And so this fit on top of the full size?
Reliant, yeah. And so again, with the Reliant, they had different scales. This is for the big one. Pretty cool just as a standalone piece on its own. I love the fact it's got the little Federation logo on there.
Oh, absolutely. So you got the bridge, you got a ship, and then there's also a space station.
Yeah, so this is a concept model. This is a mock-up concept built by ILM for Star Trek 3 of the space dock. It's really great. We don't see too many of these types of concept models, and to have it from a recognizable film, a great piece of ILM model work, is pretty nice.
So Brandon, this is a spaceship, an EVA suit from First Contact when Worf, Picard, and the guy who dies, the red shirt, goes out on the underside of the Enterprise E. That's what they wore.
Yes. You just said it's one of your favorite Star Trek films. Definitely one of my favorite Star Trek films as well. Such a great sequence, so tense when they got those gravity boots, they're locked to the hull of the ship, just awesome. So yeah, this is one of the original spacesuits built for that sequence. We don't know exactly who wore it. It was later reused in Enterprise, and all the labels that are in it at the moment relate to Enterprise. It was worn by Chakotay in an episode of Enterprise. Star Trek had a habit of repurposing stuff like that. Obviously, big universe, went a lot of different places, so they would repurpose spacesuits. But I love this suit. I love the design. I love the helmet, and it's going to be sold in our auction late September in London.
And you have the panels, they flip those panels, the lights on. It was like this weird array of like green and magenta to lock on those mag boots. You also have one of their new pulse rifles from First Contact. That's the one they took out to the exterior of the ship?
Yeah, that's right. I think that was introduced in First Contact, and then I think, again, it was probably reused later in different episodes of the show. But it is an original prop. It's cast resin.
I mean, you have stuff from Next Generation, stuff from original series. That's a lot of Star Trek stuff here. But of course, Prop Store, you guys collect and sell a lot of things from all franchises. What other cool stuff you want to show me?
Well, we've got all kinds of cool stuff, but let me show you one of my favorites from a little movie called Blade Runner.
Original Blade Runner prop?
Well, we've got something.
All right, let's check it out.
All right.
All right, Brandon, what's this from Blade Runner?
This is the VidPhone. So this is the futuristic telephone that Harrison Ford Deckard uses to have the conversation with Rachel, Sean Young. Yeah, this is the Hero unit. They did have a few of them built for the film, but this is the actual practical one. It's got a real television monitor in it, and the actress was actually offset reading lines, so they were talking to each other in real time. It was all synced up with the video technology, and it's still got all the guts, all the electronics. The keypad would light up if we plugged it in and everything. Screen matched. If you look at the little graffiti that's on the screen there with Sharpie marker, you look at the film, it's identical. This is the one, and just a very cool piece, you know?
And there's looks like you have Sid Mead concept art as well.
Yes,
detailing that.
By Sid Mead. These are original Sid Mead sketches for the VidPhone. We have a number of these that are going to be sold in the auction. Very rare to get Sid Mead's work. I think most of it is kept by Mead and the estate, and they haven't let too much of it out there. So these are the first examples of his work that we've handled in the past. I heard he's here at the show, so maybe he'll come by and see us.
Wow. You said the electronics are actually in there. Is that something that whoever buys this could tap into or mess with?
Potentially. We haven't done that. When you get these things, there's the historic element. You never want to damage them, so it's always a little bit nerve-wracking to get into something like that. So we've left it alone. If someone knew what they were doing, they probably could get it up and running.
It's a beautiful piece. I think a lot of fans are going to come here. They should come here if you're at Comic-Con. Take photos of this because I think it would make an amazing prop replica. So let's check in with Stephen Lane, your partner in crime here at Prop Store, and he's going to show us what other stuff you have in the collection.
A few more things. Take a look.
Awesome. So this is Stephen Lane, other half of Prop Store. And Stephen, I want to talk to you about helmets and hand props. Like, for example, you guys have a ZF-1, Zorg Industries ZF-1, which we saw back here at the Prop Store booth like 5 years ago. Now you're telling me this is not the same one as what you had?
No, that's absolutely right. They built a number of the ZF-1s, all for different practical reasons. So the one that we had here 5 years ago was a flamethrower version. That was the fully practical effect flamethrower. This guy was actually the net launcher, and then also, as you can see, we've got the darts here. And so that was the sequence where Zorg is showing the guys how it all works, and he fires off the darts, and they all zoom in and poof, blow the mock-up police guy. So this had a full pneumatic airline system built into it, and the line and a lot of the mech's actually still in there now.
Wow, so that's all hidden in that chassis. On the exterior, it looks almost exactly the same as the other ones.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously, the idea was that they should all look the same, and then they cut as the gun pops up and changes functionality, and then they just switch them out.
Amazing. So what other hand props you guys have here? You have helmets as well?
We got helmets, but before we move on, we should really talk about the multi-passes. I mean, these things here are probably the most requested hand props of all time. They're both Hero close-up versions. I mean, I'm so excited to have these in our upcoming live auction. These are great hand props.
Where did these come from?
These actually ended up with the producer at the end of filming. He was located out in France. He moved to Germany. We got in contact through him through a third party, and we did this sort of transaction. And we got them into the collection. But I love these. They're
verified Hero models, the ones on screen. Amazing. You have Corbin Dallas and Leo Dallas.
Yeah, that's it. Absolutely. So what else would you like to talk about? So, how about this piece up here? This is a pretty cool piece. Big fans of Alien, as we know. Might know somebody else who's a big fan of Alien, I don't. This is one of the Force Perspective Nostromo pistol sidearms. So these were the ones that were attached to the kids' costumes when they were doing the Force Perspective shots, which is why it's slightly smaller and perhaps less detailed than you'd expect it to be. Great prop though, great piece. That sort of real age of that sort of period of sci-fi weapon. I love it.
Very cool. What else you got?
This is something that actually Brandon turned up for the live auction, which I think are so cool. What we have here is the traditional Sidon Helmet from Battlestar Galactica that most people are going to recognize. But either side of these, flanking that helmet, are these two prototype versions that are actually based upon the original Ralph McQuarrie designs. And so these have been seen on paper over the years, but we've never actually seen them physically built. And we didn't know until a few months ago that they actually even existed as physical items. I love the style of them. I love the design of them. I think the elements, the aesthetics is so there with the Ralph McQuarrie design.
Totally. It kind of looks like when McQuarrie did the Darth Vader concept, that samurai helmet, and people recreate that. It kind of evokes that same the line design. It's amazing. Great prototypes.
Yeah, no, it's brilliant stuff. We have a traditional Stormtrooper helmet. This is a Mark II from Empire Strikes Back. So for Empire Strikes Back, they constructed about 10 additional suits as they were running short, and the A New Hope suits were pretty battered at that point. So this is made of a slightly different material to the Mark I. It's made of a hair cell plastic. Again, very rare, very, very hard to find, and I think this is going to be a really exciting piece out of the gate in the live auction coming up at the end of September.
And I see something here that we've seen in Adam's Cave as a replica, but seeing here in person, the Rocketeer Helmet. Now tell me the story, is this a real Rocketeer helmet?
This is a hero close-up Rocketeer helmet. This is one that's screen matched to a number of scenes in the movie. It's full hero construction, it's fully lined and padded. This is a personal favorite of mine. This was actually come from my own collection. I've had this for a number of years and decided to put it up for sale in our auction.
Wow, thank you so much, Stephen. There's so much stuff here at this booth. We could spend hours here. You got a vehicle from Moon.
Yeah, this one was built by Bill Pearson, and Bill Pearson was very heavily involved, way back to the Nostromo and Alien. And when he was chatting with Duncan Jones about how they were going to recreate the effects or create the effects for Moon, initially they were going to go this digital route, and they were, CG's the way to go. And they went away and had a look at that, and it was obviously quite a tight budget on Moon. It was a low budget feature, and they went away and looked at it and were like, God, how are we going to do this for that money? And they came back to Bill Pearson. He was like, well, look, I can build this physically, and then we get a bit of cord, and you can see right at the front there's still a little bit of cord attached to it. And he said, we build the set, and we just very slowly pull it across the set, and you watch it on film, and it works perfectly. Wow. It's brilliant. And it's a real shout out to the reason why physical effects should still be used, in my opinion, in movies today.
Yeah, appreciating not only the aesthetic, that weathering, the creating a prop, but also how it mechanically works for the film. Yeah. Thank you so much, Stephen. Looking forward to that auction. It's great to see you at Comic-Con. Thanks.